For a very long time, widows and divorcees never had a voice. But Umakapa TV, together with Uakhona Kandlongwane Umakhumalo, brings you a new show called The Voice of the Widow. Every Thursday evening, 6:30. You sure don't want to miss it. Hello and welcome. Ubukele nkqubo yakho Voice of a Widow ne-host yakho Akhona Kandlongwane Umakhumalo. Namhlanje sincokola ke nosisi Nozuko Mbathani. Uzawusi-introduce ke ngoye ihambi inkqubo lena. Hlala njalo ungahambi. We'll see you shortly after the break. Welcome back. Bese nditshilo ke ndathi sincokola noNozuko sisi wakwaMbathani. Uzawusi-introduce ke ngokubanzi sive sincokole nale mbelukazi. Sisi Nozuko.
Hello, Akhona.
Siyakwamkela ku-Voice of a Widow sisi wam.
Thank you very much.
Ndinabisele ke usiqabaqaba. Siyathenda uVoice of a Widow namhlanje. I've been in a season ke nakwiphulo lokuncokola with the divorced ladies. Uyaqonda? Ndifuna ke before singene apho undixelele uba ngubani uNozuko.
Oh, really? It's always so difficult explaining yourself. It's something that we take for granted.
Yes.
And kule season that I've been on, I've always tried to constantly dizame introduce in a manner that somebody else may be impactful.
Yes.
But before I run along.
Yeah.
Mna ndinozuko Mbathani, intombi yaseBhisho.
Yes.
Ndizalwa nguMadlamini, utata nguMpinga utata. I'm a mother of two. Ngokwempangelo ke ndiseRhawutini.
Okay.
Yeah, ngokwempangelo I'm in corporate, but life happened. I've not always been in Johannesburg. So when I introduce myself, I always say ndumntana South Africa. There's no province I haven't
been
worked
to.
at. There's none. There's no province I haven't worked at. So, basically
sincokola noNozuko, the mother
of two.
and the corporate woman.
Yeah.
Okay, bangakanani abantwana bakho?
12 and 7. Two boys, two beautiful boys, 12 and 7.
Engabantu abo. Kuthiwa ke boys zicloser komama. Bakhona bathi jonga, mama's boy lona, mama's baby lona. Ana but
for some odd reason, boys seem to be far more independent than girls.
Okay.
But what I've also kind of gathered, because I love sociology, so I study humans quite a bit. What I've also gathered is that girls generally gravitate towards otata.
Oh.
Purely because of the way computer now.
Okay.
Because we when you same-sex parenting has got something that's got to do with vicariously living through Lumdana. So you look at this girl child as a mother and you're like, there's no way we're gonna make this. She's gonna make the same mistakes I did. So and then when you parent from a point of correctiveness.
Yes.
That's
where
a
bit of a truth in that.
Yeah, you do. Whereas umntana inkwenkwe as a mother, not necessarily that you're much closer, it's just that there's a bit of leniency because you've never been through a journey in manhood when as a female and you don't want to.
Listen. After the break, siyaqhubeka sincokola nosisi Nozuko as we get to ke ngoku engumzali, single parent. What lessons did she learn? What advice can she give? What challenges if bezikhona? See you shortly after the break. Ungasishiyi. Welcome back. Besishilo ke sathi sincokola nosisi Nozuko. Ndithe ke xa ndithetha naye wathi she's not a single mother. Besincokola ke ngapha ngasemva. Uzawusicacisela uba what does she mean xa etshoyo. Ngoba uye wathi yena she's been I don't know how many provinces in South Africa, but you know what mandingayimoshi. Sisi Nozuko.
No, true.
Yeah.
The notion of a single parent is just a very false notion, and it's a definition given to us by psychologists.
Okay.
We are not necessarily single parents. We've always got a community that we can lean on, and we must start learning to lean on it.
Allow them.
Allow people in.
Okay.
And that's what I learned through divorce. You know, initial stages when you go through a divorce, did you first go through separation and then you go through a divorce? And if you're lucky, it's acrimonious, I hope it's unopposed, easy. So I was one of the fortunate ones. It was easy, but for me, the loss of that type of what society calls an achievement, which is marriage.
Yes.
Which is marriage, was very difficult for me. So it took me a very long time to recover. Okay. And what I did do is start behaving like a single parent in order for me to feel some sort of achievement. I've got to win somewhere.
Oh,
and I made it. That is my parenting.
Prove a point.
To prove a point.
Okay, that's tiring.
Exhausting.
That's tiring.
It is exhausting. I always say to my friends, guys, lean, and that's why I'm saying I can't say I'm a single parent. I've got my mother, I've got my ex-mother-in-law, I've got Tadawandwana. So, we all become a community for the sake of this child. Okay. We remove ourselves.
Okay.
We removed ourselves.
You mentioned something very important, Ndokokubana. Let's learn to allow people to help you. In many cases, they're not. Divorce a relationship with the mother-in-laws. Fumanisa ukubana akananto yakwenza nabo because by family ka-ex and all that. We saw you mentioning like into it, you were lucky enough into ukubana eyakho it wasn't as messy, the divorce process yakho. Emotionally, the shift ke ngoku kuwe and how you abantwana bahlala nawe?
No, abahlala nabantwana.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now, emotionally, that journey yokushifta from that stability. It's a stability lanto yekhaya, uyabona? Up to date. Ungathi nihambe njani nabantwana, that is now as wena mama nabantwana bakho as ba uobservile with the assistance of everyone that you're saying is involved.
So emotionally you think you are ready to get divorced until it happens. Right?
Okay.
And then when it does happen, whether unopposed or opposed, whether messy or not, it is for you yourself a mind shift as well.
Yes.
So what I did do is I had to grow up very quickly. I then removed unozuko from the decisions. I removed the emotion from the decisions. I had to be very pragmatic. And it's difficult to do because it requires you as a person to admit to specific flaws.
Accept. Okay.
You need to accept that you are a human and you've got flaws.
I like
and
that.
the minute you accept yourself, I swear the entire universe conspires for you. Everything comes together because now we accept simo samsinje.
Yes.
And you then because you've accepted that I'm flawed, you are able to go and tap in Abantuin and say, I need help.
Okay.
And that was the thing. And even with the ex's family, I've got nothing against them. We if ndibabonile and khwadanga towards them, because I then had to realize that the problem was not with them necessarily. It was myself and their son.
Their son.
It was myself and their son and the expectations we had of each other. Had nothing to do with them. So, divorce requires maturity. Managing the aftermath of it requires a lot of maturity and not rushing it.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of ladies rushing.
Okay. What would you explain as rushing it?
I would explain the need to move on so that you can prove. That decision, you need, it's the constant need for validation of that particular decision that you've made.
Makes sense.
And then what you do is because you are mourning a person who still exists, it becomes difficult. You are mourning a person that still
exists. After the break, siqhubeka noSisinozuko. Welcome back, sisancokola nale nzwakazi usishiye kwinote ethi ke it gets a bit tricky xa uyi-divorcee, because you get to mourn a person that still exists. Ininyanzelekela challenge into okokubana ufune no-prove a point sometimes that you're still worth the journey le omnye akushiye kuyo or ngamagama angamanye akhe. Sisinozuko, ndikuvile, ndifunde nto, ndiyakuva, ndikumamele. Uthi masifunde ukwamkela uncedo, uthi ingxaki expectations of each other ayinanto inakwenza nee-in-laws, ndikuvile, uze nayo kakuhle. Now unozuko Mbathani ndawuni ngoku, space sakho emotionally, wena nje. In fact, I think the fact that ukwazi uzofika apha, you are somewhere. But the fact that uzofika apha ecaleni kwam, you are getting somewhere. Where is Nozuko now? Shortly.
At this current time, you know, it is, for me, as Unozuko, I'm at a place of peace and acceptance. It's taken such a long time to accept me and my personality.
Yes.
You know, it's very difficult, you know, the comeback is difficult.
To start again.
To start again. You know, it's a complete rebrand.
How many years now divorced?
Oh, jeez.
That's a while.
Yeah, it's a while.
That's a while.
It's a while.
That's a while.
But from a personality's point of view, I'm at a place where I accept that Komnyumda may be boring, but I'm actually happy.
Yes.
You know, I think so for me, I was one of those people that did the rushing, trying to prove ukuthi I'm okay after this decision, that validation.
Right.
And I went straight, I had a head-on collision with myself. Straight head-on collision with my own personal self. Because I used to look in the mirror and I'm like, I actually don't like this person that I'm trying to be. I'm not it.
What did you do to tap out of the space?
I actually left. I moved provinces. I accepted a job in a place. Another province. I left Johannesburg.
The change of scenery.
Change of scenery.
Yes,
and I wanted
I
wanted to get a different mindset, get people who think a bit differently. But also the other thing that I tapped into, which is very important, which is why I always say to people, this thing of cute is not, is the values I was raised with.
Okay.
So when I did a good comparison of the values and the life I was living and leading, they were a clash.
Okay.
They were in a complete clash.
Okay.
And then I took a step back and I said,
like, man.
I'm getting into my, I divorced at 29. And I'm like, I'm getting into my third decade of life. Do I really, and this is when you kind of imprint yourself. Do I really want to be known?
That's something we don't like, introspection.
Yeah, no, we don't.
You know, introspection, it's always easier. I think it's easier. It makes you feel better when you blame. It makes you feel better when you blame.
Absolutely.
Introspection. That's what I'm picking up from what you're saying.
You know, and you know what introspection did to me? It told me that you actually, your problem is that for the longest time, I've had imposter syndrome.
Oh.
And not that I never loved my ex-husband, but I think a huge part of my decision to get married at that point in time had to do with the benchmarks of ubomi. You matriculate, tick. And that's what happened to me.
Those boxes is fakele pressure. Yabona boxes. Mamela
me.
Ngela xesha uyabona undinike I can say xa usuka apha ndiyakwazi ngoku. Xa uphakama apha awuse ndiyamazi Nozuko.
Yeah.
Now siba khona ke laa nto ubana sibe nengoma. Ngiqonda ubana you know xa ndisifile into yoba ndifuna usiphika up.
Yeah.
Ndidinga le ngoma. Okanye wathi so ngiqonda uba uzawutshuza ke ngoku. It's either ufuna ingoma that picks you up now okanye ingoma owasurvive ngayo at that time. Which song? By who?
Oh geez, you know I'm an avid jazz.
Yeah.
I'm a jazz listener.
Okay.
And there's a song by Richard Bona. It's like a chanting song, you know. Na 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 na. I can't sing for it to save my life. But it's a Richard Bona song.
Richard Bona song.
And he really took me out.
Itinian.
Oh goodness, I'll find the name.
Zaikangela.
Will find the name. But I kind of sang it for you.
Yeah.
And then I did a lot of watching of old DVDs. I went and I bought a DVD player.
Okay.
And I did a lot of CC Winans.
Okay,
The
I
throne.
see you. I see you.
Yeah, the throne. I
Okay.
did a lot of CC1 and the throne. Untokozo Mbambo.
Okay.
Yeah, she helped me through it.
Okay.
And of course, you know, everybody loves a good BB song. BB
Yes, of
Winans.
course.
So I listened to a myriad of things to
Yeah.
help me through the mood swings and everything, you know.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So, kasi conclude and sing Zuko, is it a better space?
Absolutely.
Okay. What are you doing now? What are you involved in 1 minute? Sitting in this call, or can you still trying to see this is where I'm gonna invest my energy, this is where I'm gonna
I am passionate about speaking to youth and how to present themselves for the work. So bridging that gap between school and the workplace.
Yes.
Because nobody talks about that.
Yes.
Eskolweni, it's very textbook and scientific.
Yeah.
And a lot of our black kids are studying so hard, but they're not getting into the market. And I can tell you now, it's got a lot to do
Bridge.
with the presentation. And they don't get taught. If you wear red lipstick and you walk into an interview, I'm not even going to look at you because I'm thinking, wow,
Yeah.
a fox in the office. No. You know,
Okay.
some walk in, people are just not prepared. So that's what I'm passionate about, working towards. And just completely, I'm very big on rebranding and giving people second chances.
And
So I work with a lot of people that want to rebrand themselves, you know, and
Definitely, this is not the last time I see you here. This is not the last time I see you here because Kaloku, remember, vow is about rebuilding.
yes,
Rebuilding. That was it for this week. Besihlelo sisinozuko sizophinda sibona nekuveki elandelayo. Nguma Akhumalo lona ku Voice of a Widow.
Yelada